Hi, this is Matt Stegman with Aqueous Solutions LLC, makers of the Geochemist Workbench, and today I'll show you how to make your own GWB videos. Making your own videos can seem challenging, but I want to exemplify that anyone can make GWB videos using basic features of free software, even if you have no experience beforehand. Let me start by introducing the software that I use to make videos. For recording video, I use ShareX. It captures pictures and videos and behaves a lot like Snipping Tool. For audio recording, I use Audacity. With it, you can record and edit sound easily. Finally, for video editing, I use OpenShot. It's a straightforward app that meets all of our basic video editing needs. There are many alternatives to these, and you should use software that works best for you and your goals. I chose these ones because they were free and easy to use. From here, one of the most important steps is to get familiar with the software you are choosing to use. Before you start, you should take some time to understand their basic features. In the description to this video, I'll link the tutorials that I use to get familiar with Audacity, OpenShot, and ShareX. There's one final thing to mention before you begin making your video. You should come up with a lesson plan for your video if you haven't done so already. What's your end goal? What steps will you take to get there? What do you need to use? These are things to address beforehand so that you aren't scrambling to find and show the right steps in your video. Now that we're ready, let's start OpenShot and begin working on a new project file. A good rule of thumb is to start with an introduction. You want to introduce yourself and the topic of the video. In my videos, I use a graphic or a slide at the beginning that shows the topic of my video. I also have an intro voice clip that I use for every video, which you can worry about later when I cover audio recording. Hi, this is Matt Stegman with Aqueous Solutions LLC, makers of the Geochemist Workbench. Additionally, you may also choose to use an outro at the end of your video, like I have here. I have an outro slide and voice clip accompanied by some music. If you've seen any of our recently published YouTube videos, these should sound and look familiar to you. Thanks for watching. Check the links in the description or visit our website at gwb.com to learn more about the Geochemist's Workbench. If you plan on making multiple videos, it's good to have a consistent intro to serve as a sort of template. Once we have a template ready and saved, the setup for the video is complete. Your intro and outro don't have any recorded audio yet, so I'll begin there. Find a quieter place to record. White noise and similar sounds can be removed from the audio, but sharper, louder noise is difficult to deal with when editing. Now I'll open up Audacity and begin recording my voice lines. I recommend using a written script to read your voice lines from. Remember, you want to speak clearly and audibly and not too fast. Don't be afraid to re-record lines if you don't like how they sound. Most audio recording programs have a start and stop feature that allows you to record in segments while keeping the whole thing as a single file. If we pause or stop our recording between lines, we can buffer our segments with extra time. This will make it easy for us to separate and use each piece later. Once you have your recorded audio, it's time to remove background noise, which I'll be doing using features built into Audacity. I'll highlight a portion of audio where I'm not talking, and I'll set that as the noise profile in the noise reduction menu. Now, if I highlight the entire audio portion and run the noise reduction, Audacity will remove background noise based on the profile we gave it. Here's what a clip sounds like without the noise reduction. Here's an audio sample of my voice. And with it, here's an audio sample of my voice. The settings to use in the noise reduction menu will depend on your setup. I find the default to work well for me, but I'll link a short video in the description that covers this. After you've completed the noise reduction, you can clean up extra runtime on the clips. When you're done, make sure to export as an appropriate file type so the audio can be brought into OpenShot. Please note that you don't have to record audio first. You may prefer to start by recording your video footage and adding audio as you follow along. Let's go over video recording now. With ShareX, it's as easy as using the screen record function and selecting the area to record. It's okay to make errors during the recording. If you have a good plan for your video, it's easy to cut out any mistakes you make later. Like we did for the audio, you should give yourself downtime at the beginning and end of the recording. Also, you should give yourself time between each step in your video. This can solve problems when your audio runs longer than your video. Remember, it is much easier to remove excess footage than it is to try and insert new footage into an existing video. The pause feature on ShareX is useful when you need to move to new windows or open new applications. I prefer to record my videos in 1 or 2 clips, and edit later to trim things down. ShareX automatically exports and locally stores the video as an MP4. No further preparation is needed before bringing the video into OpenShot. At this point, audio and video recording is complete. Now I can bring my audio and video into my OpenShot project template we made earlier. I'm going to place both the audio and video between my intro and outro. I begin the editing process by listening through the audio and breaking it up appropriately. Today, I'll show you how to make a stability diagram in Act 2. A number of simple aluminosilicate minerals can be formed from kaolinite by exchanging cations for protons and adding or removing silica. This is where that extra recording time is useful, as the pauses are clear indicators of when to slice the clip. All said and done, you'll have something that resembles this, depending on your project. Next, I watch through my video footage and start by removing any portions that contain mistakes, or are otherwise deemed unnecessary. Then, I watch through again and I place the broken up audio clips to match the corresponding video. I want each audio clip to line up with the actions that I'm doing in the video. At this point, don't worry about having extra runtime in your video, or having gaps between the clips, or even having everything flow smoothly. We'll work on that later. We want to focus on the portions where we have lined up the video and audio together, as they are the main content of the video. So, make sure to tweak these portions to your liking, since they are the most important part of the video. After that, it's time to close or fill the gaps between these main portions, and for this example, I'll be closing the gaps. Some of your audio and video portions might line up nicely without having to edit or cut any space between them. But you'll want to do this for large gaps between audio, or when you're trying to stitch 2 recordings together. Now I can go through and get rid of extra time between these portions, so that there aren't long, awkward pauses between me talking. You can see again why having this extra buffer time is so useful. I can control the pace of the video by how much time I leave between each clip. You can also choose to fill space with extra content like images, texts, backgrounds, etc. For example, in this video that you're watching, I am using a constant background image. Now I'm at a point where I've begun to bridge the gap between each of the main portions of the video. I have everything relatively lined up and cut and edited to my desired length and pace. However, the video portion is still choppy because it lacks smooth transitions. At this point, I recommend reviewing the OpenShot tutorial and documentation for transitions, since they can be a little bit tricky. I start by overlaying my transitions from the start, or the left side of the timeline. Before moving on to make the next transition, I watch through it to make sure the video is smooth and appears as intended. Then, I keep lining everything up and overlaying with transitions from left to right. This editing process can be iterative. You'll likely go through a few rounds of adjusting the video and audio, the timing and the pace, and the transitions until you are satisfied with the final product. In the end, you'll have something that resembles this. Watching through it, the video flows smoothly from shot to shot and audio corresponds appropriately. For quality control, you'll want to watch through this product 1 or 2 times to make sure there aren't any hiccups in the audio or video. Once you are satisfied with your finished product, we are ready to export and do further quality control. I'll go ahead and finalize the video by going to File, Export Project, or by using this button up here. This will prompt a menu for you to choose the file name, location, and file type. Once the video is completed exporting as your desired file type, make sure to watch through it again. Sometimes during the export process, some things can get corrupted, and you'll have hiccups in the audio. Once you have finished your quality control measures, you have finished completing your first GWB video. Thanks for watching. Check the links in the description or visit our website at gwb.com to learn more about the Geochemist's Workbench.